Hello and welcome back. Last time we spoke about Piyus and what Piyus means. Piyus means a husband bringing his wife into this place, into this environment, into this relationship of where she wants to be together with him, where they want to be together. And this time we're going to continue talking about Piyus. So Piyus, the question he asks is, okay, so how long does Piyus take? We know what we need to do, but how long does it take? And the answer is that there's no answer. It's to each their own. Every couple in their way. Every couple is different. Because the goal is not by the clock. It's not a time that's the goal. It's the goal of bringing the couple to a place of wanting to be together. So it's like building a house. You can't stop building the house because you said it's going to take a year no matter where you're holding, and you just stop building. Okay, we're done, it's a year. No, you need to actually finish the house. The goal is completing the house. The same is with Piyus. It's not limited by a time. It's the goal of bringing the couple to that place of wanting to be together. And there's a Gemara in Psuchim, Daf Memtes, that says that a man that marries off his daughter to a Amauritz, an uneducated person, an unlearned person in this area, it's as if he tied his daughter up in front of a lion. Yeah. And he explains, because a lion starts eating its prey before it's even dead. While it's still alive, while it's still moving, the lion starts eating. And he says that Amauritz, who doesn't know that he has to give his wife Piyus, is going to take care of his needs without even noticing if his wife hasn't gotten there. And the Stipler says it's literally as if he's eaten her alive. A man that doesn't give his wife Piyus, doesn't give his wife the time, and not just time. I know it's called oina, but it's not limited by a time. Doesn't give his wife enough time to get to that place of where she wants to be together with him. It's literally as if he has eaten her alive. And just to be clear, it's not about Piyus, although it almost sounds like needing to pacify your wife. While Piyus it's not pacifying. It's bringing her to a place of excitement for the connection, for the relationship, for this act of love and connection that they're going to experience together. Piyus is almost like getting into the car with a destination, and that destination, when you put it into the GPS, says it's going to take 2 hours. And there's some traffic, there's some hiccups along the way, and imagine at 2 hours, you just, even while you're still on the highway, you just shut the engine and say, okay, we're here, it's 2 hours. That's almost the same thing as saying that it's like limited by a time. It's you need to actually get to the destination. So if it takes longer, that's what Piyus is today. It's longer. Until you both get there. So the question is, so how does a man know if he's doing Piyus correctly, if he's doing Piyus the way his wife wants? And the answer is ask, communicate. The power of communication is amazing because you'll actually know what your wife is looking for, what your wife desires. And it goes both ways. I'm just using the husband because the husband is the initiator, but it goes both ways. The wife asking back what the husband desires, but it starts with the husband asking his wife, what is it that you desire? What is it that I can do for you? What feels right? What doesn't feel right? And vice versa, her asking back. Communication. Communication it's the glue to a marriage. This is a glue to a marriage, and communication is a big part of that glue. The Stipler has a letter, and in that letter, he brings down part of that letter over here, where he starts off with bringing up Rabbi Yaakov Emden Siddur on Friday night, where he brings down about mitzvah oina, about spouse being together. And the Stipler speaks about the obligation of a husband to give his wife Piyus, and the pain that he causes her when he doesn't give her Piyus. It's an obligation that he signed up for. And it's an obligation that a husband wants to give his wife. But recognize that not giving her Piyus is not just you're obligated and, oh, okay, fine, you were together, but you just missed the Piyus part. So you sort of have a mitzvah, but only some of the mitzvah. No, you actually hurt your wife by not giving her Piyus. There's no mitzvah involved. It's hurting her. And there are many times where people think that there's something wrong with tava, with desire, with passion, that it's a lowly thing, it's the Yetzer Hara, and therefore we have to rush through the process and get to where we have to get to, and just because we don't want to, chas v'shalom, follow the Yetzer Hara. The Stipler says it's the opposite. The passion, the desire is what Hashem created for this reason. It was created for a husband to be able to give his wife, for a couple to be able to connect in this way. And someone that skips that, someone that rushes through the process, that is him following the Yetzer Hara. That is him hurting his wife. It's very important to understand what desire is, what passion is. And it's that desire and passion that creates the connection. It's important to understand that this is why it was created. This is literally the reason Hashem created passion, desire, so that a husband and wife should want to be together, to create unity, oneness, real connection between two human beings. Because that's the act that can bring down a soul, a chelik elikai, a piece of Hashem into this world. And that is the reason Hashem created passion and desire. Now he speaks about physical Piyus. So until now we spoke about, okay, so the husband needs to sort of bring his wife in. Bring her to this place of wanting to be together, of excitement, of joy. And now he speaks about physical Piyus. And he brings down the Gemara in Shabbos, Daf Kif Mem, with the story of Reb Chisda. Reb Chisda telling his daughters, explaining to his daughters how they should be active receivers. Explaining to his daughters how they can bring their husband's desire up a notch, sort of like to enhance their husband's desire. And the Stipler breaks it down into three lessons that we learn from the story of Reb Chisda and his daughters. And the first lesson we learn is that both parties need to be active participants in this mitzvah, in this unity, in this connection. And Reb Shnei Kadler, like he brings out like where the mistaken belief comes from. Many times we confuse what a giving means and what receiving means, where we think the giver is an active part of the relationship, an active participant in the relationship, and the receiver is sort of a passive participant. Nothing, just receive. So Reb Shnei Kadler says it's b'chalal not. Both the giver and the receiver are active participants in the relationship. Active participant in the relationship for the giver is to give. It's very simple. That it's obvious. So what is the receiver's active participation? And he explains that it's like a Rebbe and a Talmud. A Rebbe, a teacher and a student. So the Rebbe is the one giving. He's the mashpia. He's the giver. And the student is being mekabel, that information. The student, on the other hand, keeps asking questions. His job in the learning process is to ask questions if he doesn't understand. And through those questions, the Rebbe gets a deeper understanding, different ways of explaining it, understanding what he's teaching even more. So ultimately, like the Mishnah in Uva says, that mitamida yosem mekilam, I learned from my students more than all of them, more than everybody. Because the students asking questions is what sharpens the Rebbe's mind, what sharpens the Rebbe's understanding in the subject. So ultimately, both parties are active participants. So that's the first lesson we learned from the story of Reb Chisda. The second lesson is that a wife is expected to help her husband increase his desire to be with her, his desire for her. She being that active participant in helping her husband increase his desire for her. That's the second lesson we learn. And the third lesson is, over here you have Reb Chisda telling explaining to his daughters, like giving it, like thinking about it, giving it like a lot of thought. The third lesson we learn is that a wife shouldn't just, on a whim, think of ways to help her husband increase his desire. She should be thinking about it, giving it thought on how she can help him come to a place of desiring her even more. So these are the three lessons that the Steipler bring out of the story of Reb Chisda. And this explains, or starts to explain, what physical piyus looks like. And it's important to recognize. So first thing is that the husband is always the initiator. So it's the husband starting the verbal piyus. The verbal piyus, sort of bringing her in. And then her being the receiver, her like with the physical piyus, enhancing that and bringing it even closer. And it becomes a give or take. And it's a very healthy balance, healthy dynamic. We have to remember that pleasure is not the goal. The goal here is connection. Hashem created the pleasure and the desire in order to bring upon the connection as a means to the goal of connection. But the goal here is not physical pleasure, and we have to remember that. He speaks on Mikvah night, Mikvah day actually. So Mikvah day, so we already know that a husband, that Piyus doesn't start just right before or even an hour before. Piyus starts in the morning, where the husband starts showing his wife that he loves her, letting her know that he cherishes her and cares for her, telling her he loves her. And throughout the day, reminding her of his love for her. And sometimes even buying a gift, writing a letter. Just a trick, by the way. Women usually love letters. Just a letter, it's free. Just a letter. He speaks about Mikvah day. Mikvah day, he says, how much more do we have to remind, how much more a man has to remind his wife that he loves her? Mikvah day needs to be that a day of real connection. He says that you should be coming home early, Mikvah day. You should be coming home with a gift, preferably. And again, a letter can also work, but a little chocolate, something where your wife realizes, like, wow, he came home early for me, and he bought me something. And he speaks about a gudel that used to come home and learn second seder. I don't know second seder. He used to come home and learn, instead of learning in Besmedrish, he learned at home on Mikvah day. And what did he learn? He learned Hilchas Aina. He learned what he's going into that night. By Pesach, we learn Hilchas Pesach 30 days before. Why? To sort of get us into that mode, get us into that, okay, Pesach is coming. And also to understand what it is that we're going to do, why we do this mitzvah, what this mitzvah is supposed to teach us, and how we're supposed to grow through this mitzvah. And the same thing over here. He came home. Think about what his wife saw when he came home and he learned mitzvahs Aina at home before going to the mikveh. She first of all, she realizes, wow, he came home early for me. Not only that, I'm assuming this Gudel also probably bought her something or wrote her a letter. And not only that, he's sitting and learning how he can give me everything that I need. He's sitting and learning of ways of how he can show me that he loves me. Think about how a wife feels. It's wow. This is romance 101. And this is what Chazal had in mind with Piyus on Mikvah day. Again, Reb Shneur Kadler breaks it down into 3 steps. Step number 1 being a couple's love one for another the whole month, throughout the month, even the times they can't be together. Just the constant underlying love. And hiccups are obvious. That's how relationships work. Nothing's perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's not meant to be perfect. Don't worry. But an underlying love, an underlying desire to be in this relationship, to love one another. That's step number 1. Step number 2 of Mikvah day is making that day into a day of connection to yearning, into a day of love, into a day of desire one for another. And we have to remember all the hilchas archukis, everything about a couple not being able to touch or cross any lines in the days when they're not allowed to be together, still have to be kept. Completely kept. There's no leniency. There's no being makel on the mikvah day. Chas v'shalom. But you can still start that desire, to bring out that desire one for another, to bring that closeness in a verbal way, in a way of showing up for each other. And the third level of mikvah day is the Piyus of a rooster at night. There's a lot of, when done right, there's a lot of desire that's being built over here. There's a lot of passion that's being built. Don't forget, don't rush the process. Don't skip the Piyus. Very important. A wife still needs Piyus at that moment. The Piyus of a rooster. The Piyus of, I'm here for you in this way, in a physical way. I want to stop for a second and speak about the importance of a couple dating each other. And when I say dating each other, I mean dating each other, getting to know each other. It's important for every day for a couple to connect. It really is. And that connection is amazing. But life happens. And sometimes it's impossible to give each other an hour every single night with your focus just, especially with these kids involved, it's impossible almost sometimes for a couple to give each other that amount of time of really giving like a full date. So every day, yeah, even if it's short, getting to know each other, following up on each other's day, connecting in a real way, that's important for every day. But I feel, again, this is me speaking, I feel like it's a must for couples to really date each other at least once a week. At least once a week, where they go out, preferably. It doesn't have to be, these things don't have to cost money. They don't have to be strenuous if there are kids involved. You don't have to get babysitters and everything. But really where they can set a time where they can really date each other, connect, get to know each other on an emotional way, communicate, speak to each other. What is it about you that you want to show me? Or do you want me to, what can I hold for you? And vice versa. And just really, really connecting in that way. The last part of this chapter, he speaks about fear. But we've been taught that there has to be fear involved. I'm supposed to fear. So yeah, there's love, but there's also a lot of fear. And how do we balance the two out? And he brings a mushal of a king sending a letter to the richest man in town, telling this guy that I need a break. I want to get out. I have too much on my head. I want to get out. In a month from now, I'm going to be coming to your house, but I want you to prepare like a king is coming. I want you to renovate your house if you have to, prepare the finest foods, make sure there's room for all the guests. I want you to really go all out on my level like a king. So this guy getting the letter is going to be excited on one hand, like, wow, the king chose me. But on the other hand, he's going to be really nervous. Oh no, am I going to get this right? Am I going to fail? Is the king going to see how much I tried? There's going to be a lot of fear involved. This same king sent a letter to his childhood friend, telling him the same thing. In a month from now, I want to come visit. I have too much on my head. Everybody sees me as king. Everybody sees me. They're afraid of me. They have fear and awe of me. Nobody treats me like a normal human being. Everybody's treating me like a king. You're the only one I can actually come to, that I can actually go back to my old childhood self and just be me and you, looking at me like a human being, who I am, just connecting in a real way. So I don't want you to change anything. I want to live a week through your lens, through your lenses, like how you live your life. Don't change anything for me, please. I'm coming for you. I want to connect to you. And he says these are the two ways of showing up with this mitzvah. We can show up like, oh no, with fear. Or we can show up Like the Shekhinah is there, a king is there. The king, the Shekhinah is there. But there's that love. The Shekhinah is there. The Shekhinah knows who I am. The Shekhinah knows where our relationship is. And the only fear that you're supposed to have is fear of not giving your wife what you're meant to give her. Fear of not bringing your wife to places where she wants to go. Fear of not being there for your wife in the way that you promised her, in the way that you want to be there for her. Don't look at it as an obligation, like an oh. Look at it as, this is the person I love. And this is the person I want to give everything to. And approaching it in that way with love, connection, understanding each other. And one last thing, the Stipler says that in order for the Shekhinah to rest between husband and wife, there must be simcha. Simcha is an ingredient that cannot be skipped over. If there's no simcha, the Shekhinah is not there. The Stipler says we must approach this with simcha. There must be joy, excitement, connection, realizing that the person you love the most and the Shekhinah are all connecting as one in this moment. And that is how we are meant to approach Mitzvah Saina, which Chazal calls Simcha Saina.